What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel, and with today's video I wanted to talk about a new interview with Ridley Scott as part of the LA Times Ultimate Summer Movie Showdown. So basically the newspaper has been having this contest where users can vote in on what their favorite summer movies are, and they kind of go into categories and some movies face off against each other, and with this week Alien actually beat out Star Wars and a couple other big movies, and with that they interview the director of the film, talk about its lasting impact, and I guess other intricacies of the film itself. And Justin Chang sat down with Sir Ridley Scott for an in-depth hour-long interview. And during the interview, Ridley does talk a lot about making the film, working with legends like Dan O'Bannon, Ron Shusett, and H.R. Giger, and he also talks about the lasting impact of the Alien franchise and where it could go next. And towards the end, right before the fan Q&A portion, Ridley did tease yet again what his thoughts are and where he wants to go with the next installment of the Alien prequel series that he's been working on, starting with Prometheus and most recently Alien Covenant. So the third prequel film was rumored at one point to be titled Alien Awakening, at least as said by Ridley Scott, but it was never officially announced to be that, so we either can just call it Awakening or Alien Covenant 2 at this time. But essentially, with regards to another film, Ridley had this to say: "I still think there's a lot of mileage in Alien, but I think you'll now have to re-evolve. What I always thought when I was making this, the first one, why would a creature like this be made, and why was it traveling in what I always thought was some kind of warcraft, which was carrying a cargo of these eggs? What was the purpose of the vehicle, and what was the purpose of the eggs? That's the thing to question. Who, why, and for what purpose is the next idea, I think." Now, in the past, in the last few interviews that Ridley has gone on the record with about the next Alien movie or just the future of Alien in general, he has talked a lot about the Xenomorph and its presence within the franchise and how to move forward with another film, saying that you have to kind of evolve past the beast, which is what he refers to as the Xenomorph. You have to keep finding new ways to keep the audience engaged, because the Xenomorph is special, he recognizes that, but you can't wear it out like they did kind of with other sequels and stuff. They kind of just did the same thing over and over again. With these kind of movies that are really iconic and noteworthy within film in general and, science fiction, you have to keep bringing fresh concepts and ideas to the franchises. That's why so often when you revisit franchises like Terminator or Predator or any other sci-fi franchise really, you have to keep things that people expect but also reinvent things and do things that are just completely different, because that's the only way you're going to keep people coming back to see these movies. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I am pretty curious to see what Ridley would do with another Alien prequel, because while I didn't like Covenant and there's a lot of things I don't like in Prometheus, I feel like the broad ideas of both movies are really interesting because he's kind of tapping into this larger scope within the Alien universe, talking about themes of life and death and what it means and where do we come from and who created us and why does that matter and things like that, and also tapping into the origins of the alien or xenomorph creature itself. And while a lot of fans didn't like how Covenant handled it, with David being revealed as the creator of the aliens, I think there's a lot left you can do to kind of keep things interesting with the engineer's angle, which is a lot of what fans liked of Prometheus. So what do you guys think about this? I know Ridley has talked a lot about where he'd like to take a third film. He even described it at one point as being a War of the Worlds-esque film where you had like 4 major players against each other, which people had speculated would be David and his army of aliens, the engineers, the company, Weyland-Yutani, and possibly a 4th faction. So I'm really curious to see if Disney will allow him to make another Alien prequel or what they're going to do with that franchise in general, because like I said, Alien is an iconic franchise, it's a staple within science fiction. It would be kind of weird for Disney to just let it gather dust and not do anything with it, even if it was for another platform, because Obviously they don't have to just do theatrical stuff, they could put it on a streaming service, or who knows what they could do with it. But leave your thoughts down below. Would you like to see another prequel film from Ridley Scott, and do you like the idea and angle that he's going with these movies going further, where he wants to kind of explore the who, why, and purpose behind the alien itself, as he had thought about ever since the first movie? If you like this video and you want to see more content like it, hit that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it so you can be immediately notified whenever I drop new content. It really helps me out. If you want to talk about Alien or anything in pop culture, you can hit me up on social media in the links down below. And with all that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.